are in any of those areas, be sure to seek shelter immediately, as we do have some rotation there. We'll get to rotation and live radar here and get a look at this system. So it looks like there is definitely a hail core still within this, but if you're in Coloma area, M140, Territorial Road near Keeler, Sister Lakes. If you're in Benton Harbor, this system is east of you and moving to the east. You are not in need of shelter, but M140, Sodus area, up towards 94. If you are anywhere east of I-94, east of the 196 interchange on I-94, seek shelter now. If you're in Hartford, get ready because this system may be headed your way. We'll get you a look at velocity here as well and just show you the couplet that is indicated. You can definitely see something on velocity there, and that is a little bit of rotation within this system. And we'll be keeping a close eye on it. But you can see right here, it's going away from our radar in Grand Rapids, and this is going towards it. So we are seeing a little bit of that rotation show up on radar, which is why, again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning. If you are in anywhere in northern Berrien County, be sure to seek shelter because this system is in effect for quite some time, and we'll continue to track it here. This is in effect until 11:15, so we have 32 minutes left on this tornado warning. We'll continue to track it as this goes in. We'll stay on this as it continues to track. Let's take another look at radar. We have plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, but again, this is the first tornado warning of the evening. And again, it's fairly narrow rotation within this, but there is enough to indicate it. So on radar, you don't see much. You see this gray popping up, which is an indicator of a hail core within that, but we're also seeing really heavy rain. So this, if there is any rotation, it would be very hard to see outdoors. Again, stay away from windows, get to the nearest place inside your house, whether it be a bathroom or a closet where you can protect yourself, away from glass especially, and get to your basement because this is definitely a dangerous potential tornado here. Again, Sodus up towards Sister Lakes, south of 94 on 140, Little Pawpaw Lake, you are included in this as well, and it is headed towards the Hartford area. So again, if this system continues with what it's at right now, it will be headed towards Hartford, Lawrence, and then right along I-94. So Abbott School, Hartford, Berrybrook School District. Lawrence, the Allen School as well. So a lot of areas potentially impacted by this. We're going to go back to rotation here, take a closer look at the radar closest to it, which is actually South Bend radar. You can see that there is that rotation picking up on this radar. What's unfortunate, though, it's so far away from both of the radars between Grand Rapids and South Bend's radar, we can't get a clear picture on this velocity. I will pull it up on my phone and try to get an access point there, see if I can understand it a little better on the radar. And it definitely looks like that if we switch this to the Grand Rapids one, you might be able to see a little bit of coloring in it. It is hard to switch sometimes. You have to excuse me there. But again, if you are in anywhere in northern Berrien County, from Coloma to Keeler to Little Sister Lakes, definitely seek shelter if you can. Anywhere along M140 and I-94 in that interchange, Hartford area, this system is going to be headed towards you. If it keeps its rotation, be sure to seek shelter now in anticipation of what could be headed your way. All right, there's that rotation. We're just starting to see it. Again, it's just on the cusp of both of these radars, so it's really hard to see sometimes. But you can see that blue that's picking up on the rotation as well. And that's where we could be seeing some delayed rotation moving into this area as well. So again, this is first tornado warning since 2017 to move into this area, in this part of Michigan. Grand Rapids Weather Service has actually not issued a tornado warning since 1986 at least. Data only goes back that far. But we'll continue to track this. Again, strong winds within this, a tight rotation, although it's not very massive, it's tight. That could mean that there is a tornado tracking on the ground. I'm going to pull up some data within the Weather Service and see what kind of updates they've been giving out regarding this system. It's moving north and east at 45 miles per hour. There is the potential for flying debris to be caught within this. That's why we recommend seeking shelter, especially staying away from windows. If you're in a vehicle, be sure to find a ditch so you can burrow into that. Do not hide under a tree because that may fall, especially with lightning be a concern within this. So if you were in mile markers 39 and 42 on Interstate 94, that is an area of concern for you. That is included in this tornado warning as we continue to see it move off to the north and east, again, at 45 miles per hour. Tornadoes are very hard to see, especially when it's this late at night. So do not try to go out and look for it. A lot of rain is wrapped within this. It would be hard to see anything. The best thing you can do, stay away from windows, get to the inside of your home, and seek shelter until this tornado warning is expired, and we see that rotation fully diminish within the area. Again, this could be headed towards Keeler and Hartford if the system maintains. But SOTUS, it is just north of you right now, that rotation. Definitely seek shelter because a lot of that debris would be wrapping around. I'll pull that up here on a visual. It's going to rotate around this way. So a lot of debris could be moving south of US 31 towards the SOTUS area, but the system is also tracking to the north and east. So again, Little Paw Paw Lake, if this has any variability, could head towards you. But northern Berrien County, mile markers on 94 between 39 and the county line, all the way down towards SOTUS and the US 31 interchange. Definitely get away from the highway, pull off. If you can go to any rest area, be sure to do that and seek shelter indoors, away from windows. This system is in effect for a tornado warning until 11:15 p.m. That is just under 30 minutes, still 27 minutes to go within this. Again, you can see the red and the greens colliding. Green is going towards the radar, red going away, and that's where you can see some rotation and an indication of some moving south. So this system as a whole, a lot to deal with it, a lot of lightning, a lot of hail moving into the Kalamazoo area. But again, this tornado warning could be moving towards Van Buren County, and it's definitely something to be concerned about. We have what looks like some hail core within this as well. So that's hail, that's tornado, some winds, heavy downpours, rain wrapped within it. A lot to unpack, but when it's this late at night, we can't see what's going on. Do not try to go out and grab a footage of it. Just get indoors, stay away, and seek some shelter here for the time being. On the other side of the lake, this system did produce multiple tornadoes. So to see one tornado warning issued is not overly surprising. Again, we did have the threat, and the biggest focus was along and south of I-94 for these tornado warnings here this evening. But this system, again, if it keeps its strength, would be heading in towards Van Buren County and areas along I-94. One thing I do want to note is that Berrien County is a part of the National Weather Service of Northern Indiana. The Grand Rapids Weather Service would issue one for the Van Buren County area, which includes the Keller area up towards Hartford, Lawrence, and Paw Paw. So it's two separate weather services lapping warning here within the area. We'll go back to velocity, take a look at what we're seeing. Again, Grand Rapids Weather Service radar is picking up on that rotation here as well. And we're also going to be continuing to see this carry over into the next several hours. You have to excuse me, I am changing my microphone out right now to keep the batteries going as we keep this live going for everybody here. We'll continue to cover this until that tornado warning has expired in our area. But the biggest concern right now is northern and eastern parts of Berrien County. If you live there and anywhere, be sure to seek shelter, stay away from windows, and just allow yourself safety indoors. Again, it's better to get away from the TV and in full shelter than it is to be staring next to a window watching your TV, trying to understand what's happening when you can be safely in shelter at this time. You can watch us live streaming on your phone as well. Great opportunity to just queue that up, go into your safe shelter, whether it be a bathroom or your basement. And you can carry that right on through until this warning has expired. So again, we are seeing not only radar indicated in a warning issued, but there is rotation showing up and progressing to the north and east. It has not reached M140 yet. It is slow moving, but it is headed there. And you can see some of that rotation getting a little more disorganized, but we are still keeping that warning in effect. That means there are strong winds, probably a funnel cloud up there. And we'll continue to take this into expiration, which is in about 24 minutes. We are seeing hail size within this tornado warning as well, up to 3/4 inch in diameter. So it's rain wrapped. There's potentially hail coming down in some spots of this. It's headed towards M140 as well as towards the Keeler area. Again, if you're in any of those areas, give yourself shelter. Pull off on the road. M152, Territorial Road, Sister Lakes. Up towards Little Paw Paw Lake, I-94, any mile marker between the US 31 interchange and mile marker 39, but I recommend any part of I-94 between 196 and US 131 to get off the road if you can and find rest area, a gas station to seek shelter, and wait for this system to fully pass because it is still progressing. You can see the rotation now might be a secondary spot of rotation rather than the original one which warned. And you can see a new area of tightening rotation here on the southern side of this, where we're seeing that little green light up here. I'll be able to grab another look here within my phone and see it looks like the rotation has moved to a secondary spot. Keeler, you are next focused in with the rotation based on where it's headed. Sister Lakes and Keeler. That's M140. If you're driving an M140, know someone M140, live off of M140, be sure to take shelter. Whether you're north of 94 or south of 94, the rotation focus has shifted. That means a lot of variability within this, even though it's still in the tornado warning. Seek shelter if you are along M140. So again, Silver Creek, Keeler, Sister Lakes, Territorial Road, M152. If Country Road 690 means anything to you, Country Road 342 in that small town of Sister Lakes near Maple Island, Sandy Beach, 62nd Street, 60th Street, up towards M51. This could be headed towards you next as well. Country Road 352, Country Road 687. Anything west of Fritzburg and east of Benton Harbor should be seeking shelter at this time. Again, we are still seeing rotation on radar indicated right now, as we have a tornado warning that is still in effect. They updated the tornado warning, folks. It is now focused until, let's get more information on this, now still until 11:15 and still just Berrien County, but it has tightened up in its location. As you can see there with the graphics, that little bit of rotation, I will move it down just a touch. I believe you're struggling to see it on the screen. There we go. Now you got a better view of it there. So again, tornado warning until 11:15. Velocities in some spots only at 18 miles per hour, but in the center of it, a little bit stronger. Let's see if we can get any number. There's 45 mile per hour winds in some spots, at least radar indicated. So again, tree damage is likely. We're watching for flying debris. There is a tornado with indicated rotation, and we are seeing it on the graphic right now. Seek shelter if you are in Sister Lakes, Keeler, any part of eastern Berrien County. This is something of concern here for the next 20 minutes or more. We strongly recommend you seeking shelter at this time. Stay away from windows. Be sure to just queue us up on your phone and go away from the TV if you need to. Anything to be in a safe position for a potential tornado moving through your area. But again, the biggest focus is in that Sister Lakes area, and it's very slow moving right now. It's only moving at 35 miles per hour. It started to slow down, and it's moving more to the east. So again, cannot stress this enough. Anybody in the small town of Sister Lakes, Keeler area, Fritzburg, you're not there yet, but the system could be headed your way. We recommend precautionary steps at this time. The Grand Rapids National Weather Service has still not issued any extension with this. I think it's because it's moving so slowly. They don't know if it'll fizzle out, or they don't know if the rotation might move like it just has, but you can see the focus is still there on that radar scan, and we'll see what comes in with another radar scan here shortly. We've seen a lot of, we are getting a tornado warning in southern Van Buren County. That will be in very, very shortly. If you are in Keeler, Sister Lakes, Fritzburg, even north of Glenwood, Decatur area, be sure to seek shelter anywhere in Van Buren County, south of I-94. It is time to seek shelter at this time, as we do see a tornado warning coming in for southern Van Buren County here in the coming minutes, as this system moving at 35 miles per hour to the east and northeast is going to move into Sister Lakes, Keeler, and then eventually off towards the Fritzburg area. So Country Road 687, Country Road 690, Country Road 681, Country Road 215, Country Road 352, M51, as well as M140, still concerned here for rotation. It looks like the colors have gotten a little bit brighter. We might be able to see some tighter rotation within this. We'll go back to radar as a whole, and you can see where this system is going to start to track as we turn off lightning. And you can see that this right here is what we're most concerned about, is right at that corner of Sister Lake. So it may not be heavy rain right now, but this is what we're watching for potential rotation. Again, we are anticipating, you're starting to see a little hook form within this. It's not definitive, but there is early signs of it because you're seeing a lot of that heavy rain up near Keeler. I'm going to pause this and just allow us to analyze it. You can see this right here and then that right there. So that could be the early signs of a weaker hook forming within that rotation. There definitely is rotation there. Again, seek shelter if you are in Keeler, Sister Lake, Silver Creek, Fritchburg, M51, M152, M140. This is moving into Van Buren County. We have a tornado warning in Van Buren County that is in effect until 11:45 p.m. It is right now located 7 miles south of Watervliet, 8 miles northwest of Dowagiac. It is moving at 40 miles per hour. And it is a radar-indicated tornado where we are watching for flying debris, a rain-wrapped potential funnel cloud or rotation within this. It will be very hard to see. You may not be able to hear it cleanly as well because of the rain, because of lightning, because of thunder. So we strongly recommend anywhere in Sister Lakes, Keeler, it's a non-negotiable at this point. Get indoors because you are under a tornado warning. This all goes all the way to the other side of Van Buren County. So Matawan, Paw Paw, Decatur, M40, Lawton. You are in the tornado warning as well. We're going to pull it up and grab some info on it for you here. So, tornado warning now in effect for southern Van Buren County, again, until 11:45. So we have a tornado warning now that's going to be going for over 50 minutes. Again, this is moving at 40 miles per hour. We'll put a track on this rotation as we circle back to velocity here. And we're going to be able to get a really good indication. This is a very tight couplet on this velocity. The velocity number is coming back at about 43, which isn't overly strong, but there's a lot of that red in there with that tight rotation. Again, this definitely looks like a tornado on radar. Sister Lakes, this is coming right over your town right now. If you're on M152, Country Road 690, Territorial Road West, Country Road 352, Keeler area as well, moving in to Van Buren County, where it's headed towards Fritchburg, Lawton, Decatur. It's south of Watervliet right now, which is in far northern Berrien County off of 94. But we are going to continue to see this system track, and it looks like that rotation is getting a little bit tighter, and we're starting to see a light hook form within that system as well. So again, not a ton to read on this radar cleanly, but you're seeing a little bit of this arch and then circling back into Sister Lakes. So it's right over Sister Lakes right now in terms of rotation. Again, something of concern here, right on that southern tri-county area, Berrien, Van Buren, and Cass County. If you're right in that section, seek shelter immediately, stay away from windows, get to your basement, get to an indoor bathroom, a closet, something away from windows or an outside wall. So we're continuing to see this tornado warning in effect until, again, 11:45. You can see that red polygon there. It goes up to M40, M43, pretty much the southern half of Van Buren County all the way through off to the north and east. So it includes parts of Lawton, Decatur, Paw Paw, Matawan, Keeler. Again, Decatur, Keeler, Sister Lakes, you are the main focus of this. It is over Sister Lakes right now. Again, strongly recommend getting indoors if you are in that far southern and western portion of Van Buren County. That whole area from Keeler, Country Road 687, Territorial Road West. If you know anybody there, be sure to let them know that that is a tornado warning. Radar indicated seeing rotation, starting to see a light hook form. This system could potentially be very dangerous. We are seeing some slight hail within this as well. So again, when you factor in hail, when you factor in rain, wind, thunder, and lightning, it's very hard to hear howling winds and what could be a tornado. Don't try to guess. Get indoors. Seek shelter. Continue to remain away. So that is County Road 352, County Road 687, Territorial Road. Again, we're seeing rotation here just west of Sister Lakes. This is something of concern. We are continuing to see rotation. Definitely could be a tornado on the ground in some areas. We haven't seen any official reports come in, but that is not what you should be waiting for. If you haven't gotten to your shelter yet, we strongly recommend you seeking shelter at this time. So there's a radar scan update. It's right over the Keeler area now. If you're in Keeler, County Road 687, Territorial Road, there was a lot of rotation within there as well. We're continuing to see this move up to the north and east at 35 miles per hour. It's a slow mover. The Berrien County tornado warning has expired. If you live in Berrien County, M140 off to the west, you are now in the clear of the tornado warning, but it is still in effect for Van Buren County. You can see that here. I'm going to keep it on the green velocity. You can still see where the couplet is, but you can also see where the red polygon is for that tornado warning. So it's just south of Hartford, but it engulfs all of I-94 through Van Buren County. Again, a lot of lightning, a lot of velocity within this system as well. Looks like there's that hail core that we're picking up on just north of Sister Lakes into the Keeler area. So this is hail, this is rain wrapped, this is a tornado warning with rotation, and it's pretty definitive on a lot of the radar scans. So we'll continue to track this over the next 42 minutes. That's when this tornado warning expires. So we're going to continue with this for the next several hours. And if it continues to maintain its rotation, its tight couplet, that could track into the Kalamazoo area. But right now, most of the storms are moving to the north and east. You can see that this tornado-warned cell is moving more east-northeast. So it's a little slow mover off to the north. This will probably really hug I-94. If we see that wind velocity and rotation get on I-94, make sure that everybody is off the roads. If you know anybody driving on I-94 right now, ask them to pull off to the rest area or a gas station and just seek shelter and wait for this storm to pass. Whether they're in just some rain, just some lightning, or even some gusty winds, all of it is a reason and cause for concern right now, as there is a tornado warning on I-94, and especially in the Paw Paw, Matawan, Lawton area, off towards Coloma. Hartford, Lawrence exits, all of those should be trying to get off the road as you can. A lot of times when you see lightning and rain and even some hail cores like this, it can really slow down your travel as is. No better opportunity to just pull off on the side of the road. So again, if you're in the southern half of Van Buren County, along I-94 to the south, be sure to be seeking shelter. Decatur, Lawton, we are seeing hail, wind, tornado rotation on radar indicated. That is just over Keeler right now, but starting to move east of Keeler. So we're seeing pretty good rotation within that, and it's been sustained at this time as well. So it looks like it may be a weak tornado that has continued to track. We don't know if it's touched down. We haven't heard any official reports on that yet. But what we do know is it's radar indicated. We can see it pretty cleanly on our velocity, and we can see it track to the east with a lot of lightning wrapped in that as well. So it's nothing you can see if you tried to look outside. Don't try to be a hero in that and get some footage of it. Just allow yourself to go indoors. There's that rotation. You can see it pretty cleanly too. It's almost a little more defined than it was 5 minutes ago. Coming in there, circling in there, and that's where that rotation is being focused right now. So that is east of Keeler now, headed towards Decatur, headed towards Lawton. Right now, south of Lawrence, but Lawrence, you are in the tornado warning. Be sure to seek shelter at this time. Paw Paw and Lawton, you're in the warning. Might as well seek shelter now. Queue us up on your phone or the app and just go to your shelter until this warning is passed. Don't try to hesitate. Don't wait it out. Just seek shelter. Be in your safe position. Oh, we got a view here in Kalamazoo off one of the MDOT cameras, I suppose, and some nice view here of the frequent lightning and the heavy downpour that is coming in off of I-94 as well. So regardless of the tornado warning, this is a severe thunderstorm within a lot of these areas as well. We are starting to see some rotation west of Kalamazoo near Almena on the other side of Paw Paw. So I do want to focus our attention on that as well, because that is something of concern. So we have this tornado warning that is in effect for the Keeler area, and you can see it there in rotation quite cleanly. But now there is this rotation up here near Almena, near Doherty Corners, headed towards Oshimo Township. I'm going to put a quick loop on this, see if we can see where this is headed or how it's developed in the last 15 minutes. Yeah, we can see a little bit more rotation there. So if you're in parts of Kalamazoo County headed up towards Alamo, Doherty's Corner, seek shelter now. There is no tornado warning, but it does look like rotation is on radar, and that could be a cause for concern. So I strongly suggest anyone in Van Buren or Kalamazoo County to seek shelter at this time. as we have two spots of rotation that we are now starting to watch. One in far southwest Kalamazoo, as well as one in the Van Buren-Kalamazoo County border on M43. Over M43, it looks like that rotation is starting to tighten a little bit as well. I do suspect that we will see a tornado warning here shortly coming in for that Kalamazoo County area. We have seen a lot of hail reports within this. Again, it's rain wrapped. It's wrapped in a lot of ways. Matawan area right now, seeing just north of Matawan, seeing that rotation. This is a cause for concern. Again, folks, we have two spots of rotation right now that we are watching, one in southwestern Van Buren County and the other one crossing over Van Buren County into Kalamazoo County right along M43. So M43 has a spot of rotation. There is no warning within this one, but I do anticipate a warning here shortly because that looks like a tighter and even stronger wind couplet than the other one down in Van Buren County. So a lot of hail, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, two spots of rotation. Again, folks, one near Keeler that is continuing to move inland and starting to get a little more broad. We are seeing that broad in a little bit, but there's still a strong force of wind in and a strong force of wind away. But now we go to Paw Paw near the Lawton area, and there is that secondary spot of rotation that we will be watching here over the next several minutes. There is no warning with this, but if you are along M43 or even near US 131 south of Plainwell, strongly recommend seeking shelter at this time, as it does look like there is a secondary point of rotation, and it looks a little tighter with each radar scan over the last 15 minutes. So Paw Paw, Matawan, Lawton, all under tornado warning. Keller, Decatur, there's that rotation showing up once again. East of Keller, it looks like it's starting to tighten up a little bit more. So again, apologies for the color change. We're just so close between Grand Rapids radar and the northern Indiana radar that we kind of switch in between. But you can see here, Keller, seeing that going away from that and into that. So we still are seeing rotation in Keller. It looks like a tornado could be on the ground within this rotation and how consistent it has been. And now when we zoom out, I do want to show you that there is that other rotation up near Kalamazoo. You can see it here with the greens and the reds starting to mix in. There's another one on M43 near Doherty's Corner, Alamo Township. This is a cause for concern as well. Looks like there's also broad rotation in some other storms north. We are seeing more rotation near Pullman and Allegan, Valley Community, Dunningville, just south of M89. We're seeing multiple points of rotation now within this. So if we zoom out, we can see 3 points of rotation. I will try to pinpoint them to the best of my ability on these graphics. But we have 3 points of rotation. There's one in Van Buren, one moving into Kalamazoo, and one in Allegan County as well. So let me pull up this. You can see here's one rotation. Here's the second rotation moving into Kalamazoo County along M43. And the third one is just east of Pullman. So those are 3 areas of rotation that we are now watching. But no warnings have come with the others. But in Allegan County, if you are in Allegan, take shelter now. If you are in Kalamazoo, especially north and west of Kalamazoo, take shelter now, especially near West Michigan University's campus, north towards the US 131 business loop, Plainwell, Richland, Schoolcraft, Doherty's Corner, Alamo Township as well. We're seeing that other rotation down near Keeler continue to move towards Decatur. If you are on M51 or any of those communities, be sure to take shelter now. I do apologize. You have been unable to see some of these points of rotation on the graphics on the screen. If we could pull our ticker, if I'm talking to the control room, if we could pull there we go. Thank you. You can see a few of those points of rotation. One at the bottom of your screen near the ticker, that's the one in Keller headed towards Decatur. There's the one just east of Pullman headed towards Allegan, and another one just crossing the county line from Van Buren into Kalamazoo County right along M43. If you are near any of those 3 points of locations, and points of rotation, again, Decatur, Kalamazoo, Alamo Township, or up towards Pullman or Allegan, the town, seek shelter immediately because there are these moments of rotation that are a cause for concern here in the West Michigan area and continuing to be a concern over the next several hours. So Grand Rapids is looking like a lot of pea-sized hail being reported. They have not issued any other tornado warning within this yet. But we do have severe thunderstorm warnings still in effect for Berry, Calhoun County, Allegan County, Eaton County, and continuing to move up towards the Grand Rapids area. We've had hail up to an inch in diameter in some spots of Michigan. So far, 3/4 inch in Bangor Township has been reported. But again, 3 spots of rotation right now. Let's go do a round between those and see what each one is looking like as they stand. So we still have the tornado warning in southern Van Buren County, but it does include Paw Paw, Lawton, Decatur, Matawan, and we're still seeing that broad rotation there. Let's switch it back to, there it is. You can see a really tight rotation moving just north and west of Decatur. If you are between M51 and I-94, be sure to seek shelter immediately because there is a tight rotation here that is moving right over Fritzburg right now and County Road 215, as well as just north of County Road 352. This looks like a tightened rotation again. So again, this system has kind of gained momentum as it's moved back off of Lake Michigan into our inland areas. And that tornado warning is still in effect until 11:45 rather. We still have over 30 minutes on that tornado warning. You take us north of Matawan, we see Doherty's County and that as well. We also have the one up near Pullman and Fenville. Plenty of reports coming in of wind gusts, severe thunderstorm warning for Allegan. We're continuing to see a lot of things looks like the rotation is right along M89 up near Allegan. That looks fairly weak, but it could be something of a funnel cloud within that as well. All right, rotation still near Kalamazoo area, starting to get a little broad, but we still got rotation in a few spots here that's still being a cause for concern. Looks like the rain, now let's take a broad view of this, is just moving into the Kent County area. So what a busy system here from Holland to Charlotte over towards the Decatur area in Benton Harbor. I'll turn lightning off. We can just see all of these systems. And again, there's a meso low that's between Wayland and Allegan. You can see it here on the radar loop. It's its own center of rotation in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. It's a mesoscale, so it's in a certain part of the atmosphere that's allowing for that broad rotation within that rainfall that you can see wrap around. You can see the cameras there, Kalamazoo on the south or on the bottom side of your screen, Grand Rapids on the top, right? And no lightning in Grand Rapids, but frequent lightning with rainfall there in Kalamazoo. So we have a lot on radar within this system, and we're continuing to track moments of rotation within a few spots. One right now in Van Buren County, which still in effect until 11:45, which has some velocity over 60 miles per hour. So again, this is a cause for concern here as it continues to move east at 35 miles per hour. Anywhere in the southern half of Van Buren County, be sure to take shelter here immediately as there is that tornado warning ongoing and rotation has been not only spotted, but we're tracking it on this radar pretty cleanly. There's another one headed towards the Kalamazoo area, just north of Oshtemo Township, Ravine Road, Doherty's Corner, North 6th Street, US 131 Business Loop. Looks like this is going just north of Stadium Drive, headed towards Parchment. If you're in any of those areas, although there is no tornado warning, there is rotation and broad rotation at that. Be sure to seek shelter because this could turn into a tornado warning or something for more of a concern. We do have that light rotation up near Allegan and M40 near Valley, south of Dunningville, north of the city of Allegan, but it's crossing over M40 right now. And it's definitely a broad rotation, but still something to watch for here over the next several minutes. We are seeing lightning start to move into the Grand Rapids area. No severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for the Kalamazoo County area, Kent County area. But there's still a lot to be concerned about within heavy downpour, a lot of rain-wrapped areas, and even though we're seeing rotation, keep in mind you may not be able to see or hear anything that's coming out of these. So let's go back to that rotation near Decatur. Looks like this is our biggest focus right now in terms of the most definitive rotation. That's why that tornado warning is still in effect. We have no other updates within severe thunderstorm warnings. We're getting a lot of reports of the wind gusts and the hail and things like that. But this system is rain wrapped. So even though there's rotation, you're not going to be able to see anything. It can be deceiving in how you hear it as well. Decatur, M51, anything along I-94, especially from mile marker 39 up until mile marker 60 through the Van Buren County area. Be sure to seek shelter, get off the road. Allow yourself to seek shelter indoors, away from windows, and in your basement if possible, if not a closet or a clean bathroom. So there is that rotation still in Kalamazoo. It looks like this could be a pretty good downburst of wind. So we are seeing some isolated velocity numbers come in of well over 50 miles per hour. So that's going to be a pretty good burst of wind because on the back side of it, it's almost nothing. You can see 1 mile per hour. So that means that that is a strong, strong push of wind, and then it just goes completely calm. And it's kind of a downburst within that. So if you're in Kalamazoo right now, especially north of downtown or west of downtown, it's a big gust of wind that's going to be moving in here, even though it may not be full rotation. Could be a part of more of a forming straight line wind event. As you can see, that velocity in the last couple of minutes has gotten a little bit broader from just north of Matawan up towards the Alamo area. So that could be pushing towards more of a straight line wind event. That's right into Kalamazoo. Again, if you're in the Kalamazoo area, strongly recommend you getting indoors. At the very least, staying away from windows if you can as well. And seek shelter just for any of these storms. There's a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of hail, and the potential for some rotation. And again, we're still tracking this rotation here. Very, very broad rotation now just west of Decatur. M51, again, continue to seek shelter. If you are in your shelter space, that is great. Stay there at this time. This tornado warning still in effect for another 28 minutes. So we're still keeping an eye on that location up near Alamo, but it looks like it might be turning into more of a straight line event. There is still some very weak rotation just north of Allegan as well. Definitely a good burst of velocity within that as well. We still haven't seen any severe thunderstorm warnings get issued for the vast majority of Barry County, as well as Ottawa and Kent, but there are some strong storms headed that way that will probably see them issued. I do apologize for that microphone issue there. All right, so rotation in Decatur, again, strong winds. We're definitely seeing some rotation. It's quite broad, but there's definitely an obvious green to red clash there that indicates rotation. So again, this could be a tornado, whether it be on the ground or in rotation up in the atmosphere. Definitely seek shelter. Decatur, south of I-94 right now, and it's headed towards I-94 to the north and east. So if you're in Paw Paw, if you're in Lawton, in the next 10 minutes, that will be there. Seek shelter now. Allow yourself to be in place in a safe position before the storm arrives. Rather than trying to be reactive, we can be proactive because we know that there is rotation right now off to your west. Back towards Kalamazoo, again, there's that broad rotation. Doherty's Corner, still seeing those strong velocity returns, upwards of 60 miles per hour. That is outside of the tornado warning, but again, very dangerous with the strong winds that are being reported on velocity. Lake Allegan, near Dumont Lake and Minor Lake, headed towards Hopkins right now. We're seeing some broad rotation along M40 and M89. If you are anywhere in those areas, just be sure to seek shelter, stay away from the windows, as we have a lot of lightning, some hail being reported in these as well. So they do have a severe thunderstorm warning now for Allegan and Barry County. That one looks like it has just been issued about 30 seconds ago. Goes until 12:15 a.m. So we'll take a zoom out here. Again, we still have moments of rotation down near Decatur, which looks like a very broad setup now of rotation, which may be more of an indicator of straight line winds, but still a cause for concern. The tornado warning is still in effect. We're still seeing rotation in the area, and this is still in effect for, I believe, another 15 minutes. The velocity returns we're seeing on this are now definitely, yeah, this right here. This is the Grand Rapids Weather Service. We can see much tighter rotation here on this most recent radar scan. This definitely looks like something of a tornado now, as we're seeing a really, really tight rotation right over Decatur, as well as that darker blue showing up. It means a stronger velocity pull going towards the Grand Rapids Weather Service radar, as well as those reds going away. This looks like a very tight couplet and could be a tornado forming there. Again, Decatur, time to seek shelter if you haven't already. You should already be in your safe spot over M51. If you're in Fish Lake, you're probably seeing some strong winds from this. You're not in the tornado warning if that part of Cass County, but seek shelter because it's very, very close to you. Paw Paw, Lawton, headed your way in the next several minutes. Anywhere along M40 between Matawan, Paw Paw, Fish Lake, and up towards Alamo, be sure to seek shelter right now. Looks like a tornado within that rotation. We're still seeing some strong winds right over Kalamazoo as well right now. Temperatures are going to remain cooling down here as this system pushes through. But you can see that rotation there is definitely a cause for concern. Decatur is definitely the biggest focus right now for that rotation. Cannot stress enough. County Road 354, M40, Almena, anywhere between Lawton, Paw Paw, Red Arrow Highway, I-94, mile markers 40, off towards 70, even into the Oshnamo Township area. Be sure to seek shelter. Get away from the highways if you can. Don't drive this evening in the next couple of hours. But there's still a lot to unpack within these systems as it continues to slowly move. Keep in mind, this system is only moving at 35 miles per hour right now. But within those severe thunderstorms, we're still seeing radar-indicated winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as radar-indicated hail up to 1 inch in diameter. And there still is some hail within these other systems. So we're seeing hail with some light rotation. It looks like the rotation in Allegan is more of a straight-line wind event. So you can see that there, kind of lining up right there. It looks like a push of straight line winds headed towards the Allegan area, and then right along M40, M222, Hopkins, Martin, Wayland, could be getting into the Gun Lake area here shortly. So that rotation in Paw Paw is still what we're watching closely, just south of Paw Paw, Decatur, southern Van Buren County. Still have this in effect for another 12 minutes. Based on this rotation, I fully anticipate an extension on this tornado warning. Again, it goes into effect until 11:45, so we have 21 minutes. If I said 11, excuse me. We have 21 minutes left on this tornado warning, and it looks like very tight rotation is really starting to show on that rotation. You can see it there from the South Bend, northern Indiana radar, and then our radar as well. Pretty indicative that we're seeing good tight rotation within this. Pretty indicative of a tornado. Again, if you are anywhere in West Michigan, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, especially I-94 to the north in parts of Allegan and Van Buren County. So we have a lot on the radar right now, and a lot of this has very frequent lightning, some hail indicated with it as well. And just a ton to be concerned about here, as they're all severe thunderstorm warnings in most areas, and we still have this tornado warning down near Decatur, headed towards the Paw Paw and Lawton area. Again, if you are in southern Van Buren County, can't stress it enough, this is your time to get indoors, as there is some tight rotation on radar and what could be a tornado on the ground. We'll be able to show up on radar here as well. I'm going to try to show a different radar feed that may give us an indicator of. All right, so this is correlation coefficient, which in science terms doesn't mean a ton, but it can show us sometimes where we might see a debris core or a debris ball picking up some damage within the area. And there is a little bit of a discoloration in the Decatur area near County Road 669 south and east of Frittsburg. But nothing is too definitive within this to say that there is major damage or things being lifted up from this storm that is spinning it around or causing a lot of damage. There's definitely some damage within here based on the velocity returns that we've seen. Don't try to go outside and view that, though. We'll wait until the storm completely passes or until the sun rises tomorrow to really get an idea of what damage could be down in the Decatur area, even back towards Keeler as well. But we're not seeing any debris field. It's starting to pick up a little more in Decatur, so I think that's an indication that it's tightening just a little bit. A lot of radar scans all over are just showing some really. Jill, there is a tornado warning on the Facebook Live. There is a tornado warning headed towards Paw Paw and Lawton right now. And that is just updated. If you can see that red flashing box, it goes until 11:45 still. Paw Paw, Matawan, Lawton, Decatur. Those are your 4 towns of focus. It's still moving at 40 miles per hour, but it's tornado and it has quarter-sized hail radar indicated. So this is hail and a tornado warning in one. Very dangerous situation, especially this early in the year. We haven't seen a tornado warning in the Grand Rapids area in February in a long time. So we're continuing to track what is a fairly active evening here in terms of these storms. Again, this is that correlation coefficient, which shows potential debris being picked up from the system, but the velocity is very tight. Lawton, seek shelter immediately. Mattawan, if you are in Mattawan, seek shelter right now. There's a tight rotation within this system along M40, County Road 354, just south and west of Mattawan and just south of I-94. Definitely indicators that there could be a tornado within this. We're also seeing inch diameter hail, as I mentioned, quarter-sized hail. Take cover now. If you are in Mattawan, Almena, Paw Paw, Decatur, continue to seek shelter. Apologies for the quietness there. I had to get a drink of water, clear my nose. We're still watching that rotation. Again, this is Lawton right now. This is our biggest concern. You can see pretty clearly on radar where this rotation is. And it's continuing to rotate there. Paw Paw down towards. Again, a lot of rotation is being indicated here. It's pretty broad, but it's pretty tight in terms of its speed. So this is definitely looking like a tornado within that area. If you are in Lawton, if you are in Paw Paw, if you are in Mattawan, seek shelter immediately. We are still tracking other points of weaker rotation across the area, but this is the focus right now. We have no other tornado warnings in effect in the Grand Rapids area, so we will do all we can to stay focused on this rotation within the area as it continues to track to the north and east. Again, we still have this tornado warning in effect for another 17 minutes, but there's a pretty good push near Kalamazoo for some straight line winds. Nothing of concern up near Allegan. That's some good news. This has really taken a step back in velocity everywhere else. But for now, velocity in Lawton, this is our main concern here. You can see that rotation on the velocity. Let's go back to Doppler radar. And you can see that that system there has a big hail core in it. That's why we're seeing inch diameter hail.
Reese, I do want to provide you an update. It looks like there has been a chaser-confirmed wall cloud.
Okay, chaser-confirmed wall cloud.
And potentially one brief funnel cloud beneath this storm, and that is near Decatur.
Okay, near Decatur.
Yep. So this is indication that, I don't know if you guys can hear me at home right now, but this is meteorologist Haley Vaughn at the moment checking back in with meteorologist Reese Cole. And thank you so much for joining us tonight on Fox 17 News. Again, we do have a tornado warning that has been issued south of Mattawan at this moment. It is radar indicated. So this means that we do not have necessary eyes on this tornado, but we are seeing some spotters closer to the ground, seeing a funnel cloud and potentially even a wall cloud. That does not mean that it is on the ground. It means that we're starting to see that rotation. And that is something that we have been watching within this storm. This rotation started within Berrien County, and then it eventually traveled to the south of Van Buren. And at the moment, you can see the heaviest of rain and really the strongest of the wind as well, south of Paw Paw, closer to Lawton and south of Mattawan. Within this storm, though, because of the rain and it is so persistent and heavy, it is not going to be a system that we can see very easily. Please do not go outside to see this tornado. This is not the case. You need to seek shelter immediately, and you will see that it is now expired towards the western edge of Van Buren County. It's mainly towards the eastern edge of Van Buren County. And as Reese has been mentioning, it's moving into Kalamazoo. We have been also with this seeing reports of some larger hail. I know Reese is talking about over an inch-sized hail previously, and that's another reason that if you know anyone within Van Buren County moving into Kalamazoo County, please let them know of this tornado warning that is moving on. I'm going to let Reese take over and just kind of check the status of the reports that we're getting.
Yeah, thank you, Haley. Nice to get a quick breather there as well. We're still tracking hail within this storm. You can see the updated tornado warning polygon, really hyper-focused on Paw Paw and Mattawan. Anywhere along M40, headed towards Lawton as well. Seek shelter at this time. This is still in effect for another 15 minutes, and we're seeing it move at about 40 miles per hour off to the east and northeast. It's moving more east than it is moving to the north and east as well. So again, Paw Paw, Mattawan, if your indicator still seek shelter, you're on the backside of this system, but it's still dangerous with those backside winds as it continues to rotate. We're seeing quarter-sized hail, so it could be rain-wrapped. Again, we've seen reports of funnel clouds. We've seen reports of a wall cloud as well. Nothing confirmed has touched the ground within that, but the rotation seems to be tightening up in some spots a little bit, and we may be getting some different reports here in the coming minutes as the system continues to track towards Kalamazoo County. So again, there is no tornado warning if you're in Schoolcraft or Portage, but this system, as it keeps its rotation, would be headed towards US 131 in the I-94 interchange. Something to be very aware of, and seek shelter now if you can, just to be ahead of the storm and be prepared. But know that this right now is just about to cross over M40 south of I-94 near Paw Paw, Matawan, Lawton. It's just about to get past Decatur, but this is definitely a cause for concern as there is some of that tight rotation. And as Haley was mentioning, a couple reports have already come in. We've seen some people send in a lot of hail reports over an inch. The winds have been over 60 miles per hour in some spots, but it looks like this rotation has starting to tighten up over Lawton. Again, something to be concerned about here over the next several minutes. This still goes into effect for another 13 minutes. I anticipate off towards the Texas and Ashimo. There it is, and a little tighter rotation there on the update. Although it's a little more disorganized from Matawan down towards the Van Buren County line, we're continuing to see some rotation along County Road 354 moving in towards Kalamazoo County. The Grand Rapids Weather Service normally gives us an update if there is something to be concerned about within an updated tornado warning, so we might get a little head start there. We're continuing to see pea-sized hail in other communities outside of this tornado warning, but there's still a lot to unpack within this. Again, southern Van Buren County, southern Kalamazoo County, time to take shelter if you have not already. Strongly recommend doing that. So it looks like this system is getting a little push from behind with that red on the velocity, and that might be an indicator that the system could start to weaken. But for now, it is still a very strong rotation overall. And our biggest concern in the West Michigan area, not a lot of rotation into the upper areas. You can see where the velocity radar is, not much of a concern there. You even take a broad view within just the storm as a whole over that severe thunderstorm. You can see where the systems are headed. Holland, South Haven, Allegan, you're already in the clear of any severe weather, it seems. But Kalamazoo County is now our biggest concern as this system continues to move over M40 and track towards the Portage, Kalamazoo, Schoolcraft area, and then could eventually hug I-94. If this rides I-94 for any period of time, that can be very, very dangerous here, especially if there's any form of rotation mixed in with hail, some wind, some lightning, can make it really deceiving on what's maybe going on outside. One thing that is happening is there's a secondary cell that is formed behind this. You can see on the rotation there near Decatur. I am going to pull up radar one more time within that. And that is starting to pick up speed behind it, and it may try to catch up to it, and it could impact this system. So that could be some good news if that's able to pick up speed. But we still have this warning in effect until 11:45. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning for Kalamazoo County here until 12:15 a.m. Schools.
From the station with the most local news in our West Michigan, Fox 17 News at 10 starts right now.